Hey, and a good evening. Chris Smith here, and man, have I missed you. Here we are in the Panhandle Weather Studios. We've been busy over the past 4 months putting all this together, and we're happy to show it off tonight of what we think is going to be the future of the way you watch the weather in the Panhandle. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the weather. I'm happy to say things are pretty quiet right now as we take a live look out over into Destin this evening. Look at that sunset. You know, the sunset is about 6:28, coming up here in about 23 minutes. So we're now on this side of 6:30 in the evening. There's the sunset sails heading out into the harbor this evening. Meanwhile, as we look out over across northwest Florida, well, there you see Panama City Beach looking nice. The sun getting ready to settle there. Notice near shore, very calm conditions. It's been that way over the past several days. Meanwhile, farther offshore, things a little bit bumpier out there, and it's only going to be getting windier. That's good news if you're closer to shore, but bad news offshore. Things are going to be pretty rough out there on the Gulf over the next, through pretty much the weekend. It may calm down a little bit next week. Now, here's what I'm talking about. That northeasterly wind has been fairly strong. Look at this. You see the squiggly lines there? That's the sea breeze. Normally, the sea breeze should be, well, pushing inland, but it's getting actually pushed offshore. And as a matter of fact, if you look real carefully there, look at that. My friends down in Port St. Joe seeing a small shower popping up as we have a little bit of the sea breeze moving inland. You see the small craft advisory that we have in effect down there as well. Meanwhile, as we widen out the picture, small craft advisories in effect all across the Gulf and across the East Coast. Again, that's because of the stronger northeasterly flow across our region. As far as cloud cover, we haven't seen a whole lot in the way of the clouds. Infrared satellite imagery today, just a few clouds here across our region. So, as we look at temperatures, it was warm today, but relatively tolerable. Temperatures into the 80s, low to mid 80s across our region. As we talk about what's happening with the winds, you see the winds haven't picked up a whole lot yet. We're more into that 10 to 15 range, but as we move through the next several days, I think we could get up there closer to 15 to almost 20 miles an hour. Air mass, look at the air mass right now. Dew point temperatures, Bonifay, Mariana, over into Bluntstown into the 40s and 50s. A little stickier right along the coastline, but look at Appalachia. They had the sea breeze come through today, and as a result, their dew point temperature way up into the 70s, a much different feel. So the Central Panhandle Fair, that is underway, and this evening you'll see partly cloudy skies, pretty good weather for some funnel cakes, if I must say so myself. Temperatures dropping from the 80s down into the 70s. Temperatures tonight dropping down into the 60s inland up across the I-10 corridor, and we're expecting 70s right along the immediate coastline. The weather shapes everything we do. At the beach, sporting events, on the farm, to your morning commute. And the weather never waits for the next newscast. From a morning squall line with embedded tornadoes, a landfalling hurricane at midday, or a historic evening snowstorm. We're with you 24/7 on your smart TV, on your tablet, and on your phone. When the skies turn dangerous, we stay live, focused on you. From the first crack of thunder until the threat ends for all of Northwest Florida. Because coverage is more than flashy headlines and dramatic forecasts. It's about being there before, during, and after the storm. Panhandle Weather, keeping Northwest Florida calm, safe, and prepared for whenever storms strike. And man, we are really excited about this. And this guy here, well, he's been a godsend, but he's also my roommate now, who's been living at Casa de Smith over the past week, and certainly glad to have him, meteorologist Dan Nyman.
Yeah, you really trapped me out here, but it's been fortunate because we needed every single hour to get to this point.
And a couple minutes, too.
Yeah, maybe a few extra there at the end. A bit of a difficult road, but an exciting one. I think the difficult part of this is now a little bit more behind us. There will be some growing pains.
Gremlins.
Yeah, as we get through the next probably month or two.
Yeah.
We'll have a lot of mistakes, understand. It is just us two. making this happen. And,
Yes.
a whole lot of computers that we still don't really know how they work yet. So things will improve over time, but ultimately it's going to be a fun adventure for us.
Yeah, one of the things, though, everyone wants to know about, probably the number one thing people have been asking about, the app.
Yes. When are we going to get the app? Where do we get it? Can we watch you on the app? Those are all key questions. And of course, you've probably looked already on the Apple App Store, or if you have an Android phone on Google Play. They will be there soon. A little frustrating, but it takes time for Apple to approve things. So we don't really have a straight answer yet, but soon is a good
Could be
answer.
as early as this week. I think worst case is going to be next week.
Yeah, next Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, so that's the good news. But we get to kind of take a sneak peek at it, and it's not a finished product by any stretch. We have a lot of things we want to add, but this is kind of an example of what our app is going to look like when you open it up. This is taken from an iPad, but it'll work on Android, it'll work on your iPhone as well.
Yeah, you'll still get the radar as you'd see in any weather app. Brings you alerts as well within this app for all sorts of kind of cool little niche things with the data package that we have coming into our computers here. You don't just get National Weather Service warnings, but advanced warnings for things like rotation, or if a storm might have hail in it and the algorithm can detect that. You might get a 10-minute head start notice as to that coming to your area. Car guy like me, give me 10 extra minutes to know that hail's coming. I'm going to have that thing in the garage just in time. So I think it will be a helpful product for you. You'll see as well, you could do things like check the forecast that comes from us and not a model, which is going to be an awesome thing for our area where the models struggle. And then you might have seen there as well towards the bottom, submitting photos. You love those.
Yeah, the weather photos part is the absolute best part, I think, of what we're, like the new feature that I'm seeing in an app. And that's where you're going to be able to take a picture and submit it. And then it shows up right in our weather system, making it so much easier to get that on air. So could be a sunset picture, things like that. Maybe you're out fishing, you can send that. But during severe weather, that's where it's going to really pay its dividends, where you'll be able to take a picture, we'll be able to just pull it up just like that, and you'll be able to see it on the air.
Yeah, kind of an important thing for us because, again, it's just us two, and we're going to be inside during severe weather. So you're our eyes out there as the storms unfold. We'll be keeping you updated, of course, with what we're seeing, not only on the radar, but the cameras we're purchasing. I'm sure you want to talk about those in a moment. But you guys can keep us updated and kind of be a participant in this channel by sending us what's going on outside as well.
Yeah, the other thing is on the app, as soon as you open the app, at the top of it will be the live stream that you're watching right now. So it's going to be the same experience if you're watching us on YouTube or one of our smart TV apps. Those are coming as well. Roku will be first, and then Fire Stick and Apple TV, they are a little bit slower in the approval process, but Roku should be here pretty quickly. In the meantime, you can definitely watch us on YouTube and also on our website. So the website, that's the other thing. Where's the website? It should be ready here very shortly. This is kind of a mock-up of the website that they're programming right now, so it gives you a little bit of an idea of like the framework of it, but a very similar experience in that right at the top of the website is going to be the embedded stream. So again, the thing we wanted to do is make sure that if you watch this on your phone, your TV, your tablet, or the web, it's going to be the same exact experience to be able to watch Panhandle Weather.
And of course that's important because we live the weather kind of 365 days a year, but we understand that some people kind of tune in more when there is severe weather on the way. We want that experience to be the same no matter where it's convenient to you. It doesn't need to be difficult to find. It needs to be accessible, whether you're comfortable on the couch or, more importantly, during a tornado warning, for example. If we say to go to your safe place, you could pop up the app, have the same coverage and the people you trust with you in your safe space inside your home, which I think is a really important part of this.
And also, it's important to remember that if you're watching us on YouTube, click that bell, that notification bell. Is that what, I know the kids don't say click that notification. Is it smash the bell or?
I'm starting to get old too. I don't look it, but
I'll get Charlie to come in and tell us, but hit that notification because when we go live, so the channel is live all of the time as far as the programming, but when there's severe weather, we're going to overlap that in that we're going to cut in with severe weather coverage. And so when we do that, you want to get the notification for that. So make sure to do that there. Also, if you have the phone apps, you're going to get that notification there. We're going to send out a notification. Hey, Chris or Dan, we're coming on live right now to talk about the severe storms, wherever they may be. or a tropical weather update. So that's where the apps come in that we're able to hit you with notifications saying that, we are getting ready to come on to talk about what's going on in the tropics or whatever the case may be. So, YouTube, the apps, those are all going to be important things for you guys. That's your homework. That's all you got to do.
Other footnotes of things coming, of course, we're putting cameras up in many counties, not just the beach, but many of our viewers live away from the coast. Those areas don't have as much representation in the camera market. We're going to get you guys covered here over the next probably 3 to 4 months, I think, for that first batch, and then we'll continue to roll out batches as we can afford it, because it hasn't been a cheap adventure either.
No, the cameras are a little bit on the expensive side, but it's all well and good. We're going to continue to put those out there. We appreciate our friends at Beach TV. They're letting us use some of their beach cameras. There's so many great beach cameras, but we also wanted to hit especially inland areas with additional cameras as well. I have my eyes on a spot in Bluntstown on the river that I'm eyeing to do that. We just got to figure out internet. We need more internet right on the river.
Yeah, especially AT&T.
Yeah.
But either way, we've probably spent enough time talking. Half of our name, of course, is weather. So we'll jump back into the weather forecast. A full weather forecast with both of us coming up in just a few minutes.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. With professional grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Now, from your trusted team of meteorologists at Panhandle Weather, this is your evening forecast update.
So, in a good evening as we take a live look over Grand Lagoon. The sea screamers out of their slips and out for that sunset sail this evening, although they'll be scampering back here shortly. 10 minutes until sunset. Temperatures right now in Grand Lagoon, currently 84 degrees. Meanwhile, as we look out over across Panama City Beach, there you go, looking out towards the Gulf, and you got Lake Town Wharf there, and looking out towards the west, things looking nice. Just a few clouds this evening. It should be a fairly quiet night. As we mentioned on live Doppler radar, there you see the little squiggly line out over across the Gulf. That's that sea breeze that got pushed offshore, but we actually did have a couple isolated showers. You see them down there towards Port St. Joe that have popped up this evening, as the sea breeze came in from the Forgotten Coast and made its way up and triggering a brief shower. High temperatures today got well up into the 80s, even touching 90 degrees up there at Northwest Beaches. Right now we're currently looking at temperatures into the low to mid 80s across our region, so looking pretty good. Meanwhile, winds are out of the northeast, anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour. Those winds are going to continue to pick up, though. As we make our way through the night tonight into tomorrow, we could see some wind gusts getting in excess of 20 miles an hour. So that'll be the case tomorrow morning as you make your way off to work and school. And that's why we need to watch out when it comes to the wave heights out there. Notice right now the wave heights near the coastline right at about flat to 1 foot. Now, as you look out farther into the Gulf, things quieter. Look at the influence of Imelda and Umberto across the East Coast, where battering waves up there across the East Coast of the United States. But high pressure is going to help funnel in some pretty strong winds. And notice what happens As we make our way into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It gets really rough out there on the Gulf. We'll be talking about 7-8 foot seas. Even near shore, it's going to be pretty rough. So something to keep in mind. Saturday's weather better than Sunday, but Saturday's weather when it comes to boating, still not going to be good. Bays are going to be very rough, very choppy out there, so I'm not sure boating is going to be in the forecast as we make our way on into the weekend, and certainly offshore fishing is going to be probably a no-go when it comes to snapper fishing. Now notice as we head into Sunday and Monday, things do begin to calm down a little bit, although still 4 to 5 foot seas. Still definitely anything from but ideal. Across the southeastern United States, again, we just have trough of low pressure. You see this cloud cover there racing off to the northeast. Meanwhile, we have our tropical systems that are out there over across the Atlantic. Drier air, look at the dry air filtering in on the backside. So the tropical system's racing off towards the east, the dry air coming in on the west side of that, and that's going to allow for that northeasterly flow coming in and allow for temperatures to maybe be a few degrees cooler. It will definitely be much more noticeable when it comes through the morning hours as opposed to the afternoon, but still pretty nice conditions are expected across our region. So, talking about the rodeo. Rodeo's back in town up there in Bonifay tomorrow. The weather's going to be perfect. It is kids' night. Gates open at 5 o'clock. The rodeo action getting underway at 7:30. Oktoberfest, you see Thursday and Friday looking pretty good. Saturday we'll definitely see some clouds. A smaller chance of rain, better chance of rainfall, I think, as we head into Sunday. But the weekend time frame, again, we're going to have to kind of keep an eye on that. Dew point temperatures will be low the next few days, so enjoy it. But guess what happens next week? The muggies return. And dew point temperatures will be getting back up into the 70s, so it's going to be that air you can wear once again. And you'll see that with our temperatures. Well, we'll be cooler in the mornings over the next few days into the 60s before gradually climbing closer to 70. Afternoon highs will be into the 80s, and then next week getting back up into the 90s. Now, for a look at the tropics, let's talk to meteorologist Dan Nyman.
Yeah, Chris, been an interesting past week or so across the tropics. And of course, we expect things to quiet down a little bit more once again as we saw Humberto and then Imelda get a little bit closer towards the U.S. East Coast. Since that progression up the Florida Peninsula's East Coast, it's since pulled back towards the east now. You can see it kind of getting sucked up by that trough of low pressure back across the southeastern states, and it'll pick up speed and lose intensity as it moves towards that direction over the next few days. Looking ahead here with that forecast cone, you'll see it gradually slide towards the east, eventually turning up towards the poles there, with weakening, eventually becoming post-tropical as well. The big impact, though, will be towards Bermuda, almost a direct hit right there as a Category 2 storm. We'll be watching not only for the wind impacts, but a whole lot of rainfall in a pretty short period of time. Could see some mudslide issues and some flooding out there as well. But that's really the only show in town right now. We did see earlier on with Humberto, which was a little bit towards the north, that fizzling out, and as we move towards the next week or so, well, things are going to get more and more quiet. Generally speaking, across the Gulf, things not busy at the moment. The Caribbean, the same story, back towards the Atlantic. That same main development region right here continuing to show signs of some low development chances, but as we get later on in the season here, well, those chances start to tail off in that region. Your tropical formation zones start to shift back towards the west. We see that towards mid to late October and then towards November, much closer to home out across the Gulf, some parts of the western Atlantic as well. There's a low-end chance week 2, maybe week 3 as well, that you could see some development out there, but ultimately the chance is low enough right now that it kind of signals towards climatology, then something of concern. Of course, Chris and I will be all on top of that over the course of the rest of this hurricane season and many more hurricane seasons to come.
So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what's going on when it comes to your forecast for the rest of tonight. It's going to be quite comfortable. We'll see low temperatures dropping down into the 60s across the I-10 corridor. 70s only for the beaches. Pretty much everyone tonight will be into the 60s. So if you get the opportunity or want to, wake up a little early tomorrow morning. Get outside and feel that comfortability. Still, high temperatures on Thursday will be pretty warm. We'll climb up into the 80s. We'll go mid-80s up across the I-10 corridor, mid to upper 80s expected down along the coastline. Let's talk about that 7-day forecast. We're going to see rain chances pretty minimal the next couple of days. At the coastline, 20%, nothing to worry about. Where you see the better rain chances coming into the forecast as we head into Saturday and Sunday. In particular, Sunday into Monday will be your best chances of rainfall. As we look at inland areas, we'll see temperatures mainly into the 80s. And again, kind of that bullseye expected Sunday into Monday, with Saturday definitely being the better of the 2 days this weekend.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the-right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused.
A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Well, nice view out there across Panama City Beach this evening. Really like this camera, Chris, especially as we catch the very end there of sunset tonight. Good feel out.
Coming up in 2 minutes officially.
Yeah, we did sneak out to one just a couple of days ago. Yeah. Desperately needed to get outside.
Yeah, it was crazy. There were dragonflies everywhere, but it was a gorgeous sunset. But yeah, it was just kind of, you reach one of those moments where we're working, grinding through everything. It's like, gotta get out of the house.
I hadn't seen daylight in a pretty long time. You can probably tell. Summer never happened for me.
It has been definitely a lot of work over the past 4 months for sure. A lot of training, a lot of graphics, but you know, it's all going to be well worth it. We've gotten lucky with the tropics so far this year, but we are officially up and running and ready to tackle the next bout of severe weather, whenever that may be. Typically October on the quiet side. Fingers crossed it stays that way.
Yeah, definitely enjoy a quiet and cooler October. Hopefully we can turn the tides on that soon. The other cool thing we could do, of course, stand at this touch board. I don't think we're going to be touching it much this evening, but you get a nice view of areas across the Panhandle. Wonderworks right there with some of the pink cotton candy hues across the sky. Chris got it covered here.
There we go.
Telestrating feature. I don't know what you'd like to point out, but
we got that. It's been a big hit with the kids.
Certainly. They definitely like to draw non-weather related pictures.
Yeah, we got a lot of mermaids, some tic-tac-toe, you know, kid stuff.
We did have math problems.
Yeah, we did have math problems.
Wasn't all useless. The real purpose of it, of course, is identifying things like that. Chris, the sea we talked about earlier on in the show. Very cool to see it heading in that direction, especially because it feels cooler in the morning hours.
Yeah.
Definitely going to find that. I think the forecast is somewhat nice to end up the work week here. This weekend, like you mentioned, Chris, a little bit more rainfall. We might see a little bit more of a early surge of moisture, and probably we'll find too towards the middle of next week as temperatures go up. That will be an image from the past.
Yeah, it's going to be much quieter across northwest Florida. Look at temperatures Friday morning. So tomorrow morning 60s, tomorrow 80s, but then look at that Friday morning, probably the coolest morning of the spell where we'll see those temperatures into the 60s and 70s.
Either way, heading off to school tomorrow, temperatures, of course, rise quickly once we get the sunshine out there. Not a bad day by any stretch of imagination as you get out after that end-of-day school bell. Maybe some time outdoors before the sun sets, because we're getting close to the point where those after-school outdoor activities will be in the dark here soon. Yeah,
that's the one thing that we've noticed is that the sun continues to get darker, or the sun goes down earlier and earlier, and time change is about a month away. It's like November 2nd or 3rd, I think, this year.
That switch back to standard time is the worst.
Always a bit
at least
on,
for us late night people.
Yeah, always a bit on the rough side. Rain chances very low, and then as we talked about, Saturday on into Sunday, we'll see those rain chances increase across our area Sunday into Monday. So what you're going to be seeing over the months ahead will be a lot of improvements. We'll work out the gremlins. We'll figure out what works, what doesn't work. But I think, the process is going to be a lot of fun. And I think that we're all going to, you will appreciate and benefit from it, especially when it comes to our ability to do severe weather coverage, because we're going to just be here. We don't have any other programming. I don't have to worry about football or basketball or anything like that. We're just doing weather. And that's what we're going to focus on, and that's what we're going to do best. 24/7. A daily stream, what is it going to entail? It's going to be a mixture of live and taped weather segments over the course of the day with live graphical information in what we call an L-bar format. But I think you're going to be liking that as well. So you'll be able to turn it on while you're making dinner and get the forecast. Or when you're waking up in the morning, what's the weather? We're going to do that. We are a political-free zone here at Panhandle Weather, so no news. We're just weather.
Just the weather.
Yes.
And of course, when the weather turns a little bit on the rougher side of things, I think the coolest thing for me is going to be the interactive element for this. Say today we could have done it, although a little risky on the internet testing here, so we'll hold off on pulling in your comments this afternoon and evening. But eventually you'll be able to do something like that and ask us a question, share your question with the rest of the classroom per se in the chats across YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah.
Watching on the app, I'm still trying to develop my own way of pulling in abilities to comment there. So hopefully someday I'm not a programmer.
Yeah, I think, but at least on Facebook and YouTube, at least initially, those are going to be the two platforms that you're going to be able to ask a question, and then we'll see it come in, and then, we can go ahead and highlight it and drop it in like Dan just did, and you'll be able to, we'll be able to answer your question on the air.
Either way, we're super excited about this. It has not been easy. Probably won't be easy for a little while, but the most important thing is we're having fun. Yeah,
I think I can't thank Dan enough for the amount of work that he's put in. It's been really extraordinary, and I don't think I would have been able to do it. I definitely wouldn't have been able to do it without you. Got to thank the big guy upstairs for looking out for me. This was a dream that started 5 years ago, and everything just kind of came together. Dan coming into my life, my wife saying that she thought this was cool. My mother-in-law, who's the most conservative person in the world, said, this is the greatest thing. You have to do this, which I was not expecting. So, here we are. My parents, my kids, oh God, my wife, she's bankrolling this thing, at least for now. And if you're interested in advertising, you saw the advertisement for Parish Tractor. They were one of the first people to jump on board. I can't thank them enough. But if you want to advertise with Panhandle Weather, sales@panhandleweather.com. I know that I got a spreadsheet that's really long, and I haven't gotten back to everyone or most of you, but I promise I will get back to you. It's just we have bigger fires to put out, which is getting all this together. And now once we kind of get the gremlins going and gone, then we'll be able to focus on sales, because in the end it is a business, but it's also a passion for us because we both love the weather.
And while you're thanking people here and wrapping things up, we of course have to thank Ben Luna, who's down here,
my gosh,
the brains behind the operation, or at least one
the
of
godfather of
this.
There aren't a lot of people doing this around the country, more than 10 now, and he was pretty much the first.
And we also have to thank Mike Witcher and Matt Gobon, Mike Kruger, and
A
everybody else.
A lot of questions. That's the great thing about this, though, is that there's a fraternity of people that are doing this around the country, and there's going to be a lot more that are doing this, and we kind of bounce ideas like, how do I do this? Fix this. It's awesome to see people work together, take control of broadcasting, and making their own weather channels. We all love weather, and so here we are, Panhandle Weather.
We love the weather. We're learning IT. It will all work out in the end. But ultimately, I think that's going to be it for our first show here, Chris. A little bit more casual of a start, but we'll get into the swing of things.
Absolutely.
Just the weather, I think, going forward as early as this evening. So you want to wrap things up for us here?
Again, thank you very much, guys. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for all your kind words. For my Father's Day video, I cannot thank you enough, but here you go. This is what we've been working on, Panhandle Weather. God bless. inland, 70s along the coastline. As we look at the forecast for your Thursday, we'll see high temperatures climbing up into the 80s, mid to upper 80s. But for this time of year, it's about average. Rain chances, nothing for the next few days, but notice high school football is good. As we head into Saturday, some small rain chances, but better rain chances Sunday and on into Monday. Throughout, high temperatures remain in the 80s. Next week, the heat does begin to return, and so does the sunshine.